The left want to define traditional masculinity as toxic. They want to define the traditional masculine virtues, things like courage and independence and assertiveness, as a danger to society.
If you're looking for someone to defend traditional masculinity, look no further than MAGA's very own Josh Hawley.
The attack on men has been the tip of the spear in the left's broader attack on America.
They're taught that, oh, if they're a boy, if they want to be aggressive, if they want to talk about guns, no, that's bad. They need to be medicated. They need to be quieted down when they get a little older. They're taught that manhood is inherently dangerous, that it contributes to climate change. The lie is that by being a man, you make the world a worse place. The lie is that we don't need strong, responsible men in the world and that all masculinity is toxic. That's false. All of those things are false, Harrison. The book is about, it's a call to arms to men.
More and more men are withdrawing into the enclave of idleness and pornography and video games.
Josh Hawley is trying to control our lives. He's trying to control our lives in the bedroom. He's trying to control us in the doctor's office. He's trying to control us at work. And I mean, you just mentioned his book. I mean, he's trying to control what we actually are. I mean, it's weird, it's creepy, and it's gross to write a book about masculinity and and tell everyone that to be a real man, they have to be made in your own image. Missourians don't want to creep deciding what happens in their lives, and that's why he's vulnerable.
One of this is just an attempt to troll. And listen, I don't regret anything I did on that day. And the reason I'm being attacked by the January 6th committee is because I'm in their way. And the stand that I took is one that I don't regret and one that I won't back down from.
It's very clear that Josh Hawley is linking conservative political values to masculinity as intentionally as he is, because that's the audience he's trying to attract. Men who engage in toxic masculinity, right? That's his audience. And he wants people who are going to be, men who are going to be super aggressive and, all about guns, which can be very dangerous, right? The other reason why he is doing this is because he's very insecure about his masculinity. Anybody who speaks like this, especially somebody who was running during the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol, they are insecure about their masculinity. That's what's going on here. The other part that we have to address is, look, how can you be talking about traditional masculinity and you're barely kissing your wife? Somebody that is safe and secure with their masculinity is going to be very passionately all up in their spouse's mouth because they're not afraid how it looks. But he's barely kissing her. I mean, what are we doing?
A lot of this talk about America being a systemically racist, bigoted, oppressive nation really is an attack on the biblical tradition that undergirds our history and culture. It's really an attempt, I think, to root that out. A lot of the cultural Marxism that we see that's so prevalent now on the left is really aimed at the biblical elements in our culture.
Not only is this take from Hawley and a historical lie, but also anti-Semitic and inherently white supremacist. You see, cultural Marxism is just a euphemism for cultural Bolshevism, the conspiracy theory, right, that Nazi used to link Jewish people to left-wing political movements and discredit their cultural exports like art, science, academics, etc., as degenerate and immoral in the Nazis' perspective. All this boils down to, y'all, is Hawley being a white nationalist, a Christo-fascist. And Hawley, knowing his audience and exactly what kind of message he wants to send to them, chose to say this at NatCon 4, a convention for fellow Christo-fascists like himself.
Some will say now that I am calling America a Christian nation. And so I am. And some will say that I am advocating Christian nationalism. And so I do.
Hawley would later say in his speech, quote, "Christian nationalism is not a threat to American democracy. Christian nationalism founded American democracy, and it is the best form of democracy yet by man, the most just, the most free, the most humane and praiseworthy." First off, there's so much absurdity in a sitting senator feeling so emboldened to say something so outlandish like this and not fear severe political retribution. The other thing is, Christian nationalism founded American democracy. No, it did not. If you read the Constitution, you would know that in the Constitution, it says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. That means having religious freedom to practice whatever religion you want. So Christian nationalism isn't a part of that. And it's the most humane? Absolutely not. Because Christian nationalism is not an understanding system. It's not an understanding world or an idea or a belief. It is very judgmental. Talking about, yeah, it's the most humane, the most just, please.
And it is the tragedy of our age. It is the calamity of our age that so few men in our nation feel a sense of purpose anymore. Our purpose is found in this fact that Jesus Christ, the Lord and creator of the world, the sovereign God, reached out across time and history and chose you for a particular task. He has a purpose for your life. He has a call on your life. He has something for you to do that no one else can do. That's purpose.
A Christian nationalist nation would be terrifying, especially if you tied along with Project 25, which is trying to turn America into a fascist state, essentially, like a whole lot of right-wing agendas. And then if Trump gets elected and he can carry out Project 25, because they're talking about restoring, the American family and protecting our country, from, dangerous people. Again, a whole lot of xenophobia, right? With immigrants coming in. And there would also be so much anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, homophobia, transphobia, because in a Christian nationalist society, in that world, they see things like people being gay as immoral, as a terrible sin. So they're going to ostracize them. So let's be clear. There is no way, there is no world in which Christian nationalism is good for America. It is horrible. It is dangerous. And we have to do everything in our power to make sure that doesn't happen. Okay? We do not need Project 25, Project 2025 coming to life. We do not need Trump in the White House again. And we do not need people like Josh Hawley promoting and getting promoted because he's talking about Christian nationalism. We don't need to see that. We don't need to have him being lifted up, is what I'm trying to say, right? Because these are very dangerous waters that we're entering right now.